Hey everybody. I've got about, I believe 14 maybe minutes here to try to discuss this before anything happens. But I thought I'd kind of discuss something, and the title says it below. It says, why fans defend Ian Flynn. And I talked about this in the three-part video that I did, and it's real simple. I'm going to try to go into more detail. You see, like I said, the reason fans defend Ian Flynn is because he's essentially one of us, if you will. He began as a fan, and when you have somebody that's basically one of your own, now as the head writer of said comic book series, you are willing to do whatever it takes to support him, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure no one badmouths him. In other words, you don't want people saying any bad things about him. And I used sort of a good comparison, if you will. I sort of used a good comparison. So I was just checking some folks. But again, I was using a good comparison. And the comparison, wrestling-wise, would be to this individual right here, CM Punk. You see, when fans talk about CM Punk, they talk about him and defend him because not only is he someone that made a name for himself on the independent circuit, if you will. Not only is this guy somebody that essentially made a name for himself on the independent circuit, but he's somebody that a lot of fans hope would be the answer to get the WWE out of the predicament or out of the state that they're in. Like I said, kind of get the WWE out of the state that it's in and into a state that they can enjoy. Now you see, there's a lot of fans that would also disagree with the fans that support CM Punk. They say that, he's not been like this, he's not been that, and there would be fans that would defend him. Because he's pretty much their guy. And a majority of the people that defend him are known as the IWC, YWC, indie fans, if you will. And the reason it's kind of a strange comparison, if you will, with fans that defend Ian Flynn, is because these fans that defend Ian Flynn feel the same way. He's one of them, and essentially he knows what we want. And if we badmouth him, and if people badmouth him everything, they get mad, they're upset, because they do not want one of our own, as they would look at it, to be let go, to be off of the book, because they feel in fear if somebody else gets the reins to that book, to write for that book, to be the head writer, it's not going to be what they want. It's kind of like right now, CM Punk was WWE champion for 434 days. When he lost the belt, people were pissed. They were mad. They were upset because their guy, the person they supported since the days of the Indies, like I said, since the days of the independents, they were upset and pissed at the fact that he was no longer champion, and the championship went to somebody that was a part-timer, somebody that wasn't always there. And then if that's not enough, they were pissed off at not only the fact that he lost twice to this individual, but that also, at the biggest stage of them all, he lost to The Undertaker. Even though they were hoping he would beat the streak, he still lost 3 major matches in a row. But if that's not enough, before Mania, he had a match with John Cena, and lost that. So that's 4 major matches he lost. And fans were not happy about it because, one, like I said, he lost twice to a part-time movie star, part-timer/movie star. He lost to the person that they're pretty much sick to death of, and basically only has, as a lot of people say, only has 5 official moves. As well as he lost to somebody that, even though they respect this individual for what they've done, felt that it was time for him to pass the torch to Punk. And again, as strange as a comparison as that is to Ian Flynn, that's how fans are about Ian Flynn. They feel that if someone else takes over Ian Flynn's job as the head writer, it's not going to be what they want. You know, he's not going to give us what we want. He's not going to give us what we demand. You know, and as crazy as that sounds, it's true. And it's just from my own personal opinion, from what I've read and seen. This is why they are quick to the whip, if you will, to defend Ian Flynn. This is why people say that what he's doing is okay. Now, they do admit he has flaws. He has some flaws here and there, but that he's better than everybody else. And again, it's just like with CM Punk. You know, they're happy he's the champion because they were happy he was the champion because it gave him somebody they can actually get behind and cheer for and enjoy. But now that the belt's back on Cena, they're not happy. But heck, when he lost the belt to The Rock, you had people ranting on YouTube and on Daily Motion and places like that saying, no, he should still be champion. He should have the belt until next year. He should be main event at WrestleMania. And again, a strange comparison. And so they feel about Ian Flynn because John Cena is essentially what John Cena being the champion that he is now, Rock being champion when he was, you know, Rock being champion when he was, losing to The Undertaker, losing to Cena and all that, is essentially how, in strange comparison, how those that defend Ian Flynn look at what could happen with Ian Flynn. They feel if Ian Flynn leaves, they're going to get someone that's like a Cena or a Rock or an Undertaker in terms of being the head writer, and it's not going to be what they want. So as many people don't understand and get why fans defend Ian Flynn, in my personal opinion, from my personal observation and opinion, this is why. Strange comparison, I know, but that is why. Essentially, Ian Flynn, in many ways, is the CM Punk of the Archie Sonic comic book. You take the title of head writer away from him, give it to somebody else, like they did with CM Punk, having him lose the belt and giving it to The Rock and then eventually to Cena. People aren't going to be happy. They're going to be like, oh great, now we're going to deal with the same old crap we've dealt with before. You're not going to be happy. So my personal observation and opinion, this is why you have fans defending Ian Flynn. Whether you agree with them and what they say about it, whether you agree with what he does or not. This is their right to defend him. This is their right to want to get behind him, because if they feel and believe he's the best thing that's happened right now to the comic, then so be it. Just like those that are not too happy with him. Just like those that feel he's run his course. I mean, there have been detractors and all that about CM Punk that felt the same way. They felt that, okay, he's the champion. He's been champion. That's great and everything. He's brought legitimacy back to the belt, but yet he's not really gone and done anything that is any more significant than being one of the longest reigning champions in history. So he's had his detractors, just like Ian has his. And again, on each side, people have a right to say and feel how they feel and believe and all that. So, again, like I said, it's a strange comparison, but there you go. So, that's all I'm going to say on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going to go try to finish watching the Giants game.